under the current legislators that we have. The 111th Congress passed a bill to recognize the Greek letter pi, and it also established National Watermelon Week. Nothing was done about Social Security. We need to be much, much more analytical about the way that we approach the task of lawmaking, because it is so fundamentally important. Before number 2 of my 10 points in my pledge to the citizens, before voting on any proposed legislation, I will seek the analysis of nonpartisan experts on the subject and hold those findings above political consideration. If you feel that partisan politics is beneficial to the future of this country, then you should continue to vote for those who have brought us to where we are. I reject partisanship. If I am elected congressman, your representation in Washington, D.C. will change, as both political parties will be interested in receiving the vote of the congressman from Minneapolis. It is my intention to be the steward, in the fullest possible sense of the word, for the citizens of the 5th District of Minneapolis and of the American people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Lynn Torkelson, please, closing statement.
Thank you, Mr. Allen.
You're welcome.
Our founding fathers founded this nation on the U.S. Constitution. People died for the U.S. Constitution, and they also enacted the Bill of Rights. And one of those, before I move on to a lighter topic, I do want to also address our rights, First Amendment rights to freedom of speech, and the concern of radical Islam on infringing on this right. Recently, the adult cartoon show South Park created a program where they portrayed Muhammad in a bear suit. As a result, radical Islamists issued veiled death threats to the makers of South Park. In consequence, the makers of South Park pulled or canceled that cartoon show. This constitutes the actual infringement in the United States on our First Amendment freedom of speech. This needs to be reversed and stopped. We can never not do anything out of fear to radical Islamists. And I'm the person to elect to protect these freedoms, not our opponent, Keith Ellison, who actually associates himself with named co-conspirators defunding terrorism. On a lighter note, we in America need to develop clean energy. We need to develop our sun, wind, water, and geothermal resources. This would help create clean jobs, it would improve the economy, it would improve the environment, and it would reduce our dependence on foreign oil. And we need to reduce our dependence on foreign oil, because I'm told we spend approximately $400,000 a minute on foreign oil. I also would like to mention that I am pretty green, liberal on environment and energy, as just noted, and I think we need more labeling with respect to food. I oppose genetically altered foods, cloning of beef, things like that. So vote for me, Lynn Torgerson, next month, November 2nd, and help me and join my campaign to protect America. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Ms. Torkelson. Mike Calvin, please.
Thank you, gentlemen, for this opportunity to speak. You know, here's the bottom line. There are true groups of people right now who are destroying our Constitution and our Bill of Rights and destroying our country while they're at it. They are called Democrats and Republicans, who have both chosen not to be here. I can guarantee you that as a member of the Congress, I will stand up and fight to end this rotten war, not with just pretty words, but with actions. I will block the funding of the war. I'll expose those in Congress with their secret meetings who refuse to end this rotten, illegal violation of international law, which is the wars. Further, if I was to get into Congress and become a part of the Judiciary Committee, which our esteemed colleague who chose not to be here, I would, unlike others, I would fight as a member of the Judiciary Committee, to ensure that any elected official that violates the Constitution is indeed impeached. There was talk of the Impeach for Peace movement on having the most illegal, corrupt administration in our nation's history, the Bush administration. Our esteemed colleague, who chose not to be here, was on that committee, did nothing. Also, speaking as a registered nurse, I will stand up and I will fight hard, long, and without taking any airplane rides like Dennis Kucinich. I will fight for universal, single-payer health care, everybody in, everybody out. Because, quite frankly, that's the only way we're going to move forward as a nation with healthcare, on the healthcare issue. The way to get us back financially is to end the wars. Also, I will fight to the death to fight for the Constitution and the Bill of Rights for all of us as American citizens. We've had for so long, we've had elected officials who tell us pretty words about what they're going to do and build these fine images of things like hope and change. And then they get into office, and the system is so corrupted to its very core, as we talked about earlier, Tom. It's so corrupted to its very core that these people either are there because they will go along to get along, or they're there, or they're actually placed there to try and make us think that we have a democracy. I will stand up and help us together, we, the people, build a true democratic republic so that we can have something for ourselves, for our children, and for our children's children. If we don't, we're in serious trouble. I'm Michael Kavlin. Wilfred Kavlin for Congress, for courage. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We'd like to take this time and thank all the candidates here for participating. We had Michael Kavlin tonight, Ms. Lynn Torgelson, and Mr. Tom Schrunk. We appreciate you guys joining us tonight. We'd also like to thank the National Research Institute for helping us to prepare the questions. On Point, Ron Edwards and I have a online radio program every Saturday at 4 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio called On Point, which will be on the air this Saturday, and hopefully we can get some of the candidates to call in. We'd also like to thank Backdoll Moving and the executive director here of Minneapolis Television Network, Ms. Pam Colby. We'd like to thank her. We'd like to thank Hamill, the director, also the director of programming, Ms. Vera Allen. We'd like to thank her for scheduling this time. Usually this particular time of day, there are other programs on this fine station, and they were kind enough to let us come in tonight and have this special date. Mr. Edwards.
I want to concur with the accolades, but I specifically want to single out Pam Colby. I don't think that we have an appreciation, and I was one of the individuals who helped draft the franchise agreement that created MTN many years ago. Pam Colby has been a true soldier. I don't want to militarize this, but she has been a true soldier. She has been a true fighter for freedom of speech. And I would have thought that in that regard, there would have been a little bit more of a consideration and respect for her and this organization and everyone who was invited attending this political panel to convince the voters of the 5th Congressional District that they were worthy of their vote and their consideration. There is always a person, and Pam Colby is that person, who stands out and continues to carry the beacon of free speech, and I want to thank her.
Thank you. You can also see Mr. Edwards here every Sunday at 5 p.m. on the Minneapolis Television Network, Channel 17 for Black Focus. And my name is Don Allen. I'm with the Independent Business News Network, and that URL is www.ibnnnews.com. Check it out. You'll find out what's going on in town. Again, we'd like to thank our candidates, Mr. Michael Kavlin, Ms. Lynn Torgelson, and also Mr. Tom Schrunk. Directly after the broadcast, this is a live broadcast today, directly after the broadcast, we will be having a meet and greet for about an hour or so at J.D. Hoyt's on 3rd and Washington in downtown Minneapolis. Everyone's invited, and we'd like to thank everyone for viewing, our listening audience on Blog Talk Radio. We'd like to thank you guys for tuning in also. This is the 2010 Minnesota 5th Congressional District Debate. I'm Don Allen, Mr. Ron Edwards, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.